What's up, my fellow comic book readers? Guys, I got 5 indie comics here. None of them are Image Comics, but I'm going to give you all a longer review. I do shorter reviews on TikTok, so if you want a short-winded, explanation, go to TikTok. If you came from TikTok, I'm about to be long-winded. All right, we'll start off with the IDW Jason Aaron Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, art by Juan Ferreira. I can't pronounce names, so I apologize if I butchered it. No disrespect. I will say the art in here, the artist has changed a couple times, but the art for each issue has been phenomenal. I have absolutely no complaints about a single issue of this. If you're big into art and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, it's a little bit darker than your parents' Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but this is a great series. If you haven't read it yet, I definitely recommend picking it up. Start with issue 1, obviously. This is number 10, so you're not too far behind, and there's a trade out, so you can start with the trade and find out if you like it. This issue specifically is being told they're in jail, they're locked up, and they're getting ready to be tried for murder and ransacking the neighborhood and like all the worst stuff. And the DA, Haley, he really wants them to pay because he works for like the footman and he's a bad guy. So he is doing everything in his power to make them look bad. And the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, instead of getting a lawyer, they decide to defend themselves. And the person defending them is Donnie. And Donnie's approach is standing in front of the court and going, "Your Honor, we're innocent." Like, he literally just, we didn't do it. Some ninjas kill people, but we don't. That was his defense. And Haley's like calling in all these witnesses that are all like bad guys, but the court has already pretty much made up their mind that the Ninja Turtles are bad people. So I think Donnie's kind of like under that impression that like, whatever, we're screwed. But this issue was a great one. The brothers are finally starting to get together. And I think it's a really like turning point for the series, because the first 9 issues, the brothers didn't get together. They didn't work together. They're kind of banging heads against each other. And on top of fighting bad people, they're fighting each other. And, I like this because I think the brothers are going to start getting together and working together. Next up, we got another IDW comic, a Star Trek comic. This is my first Star Trek comic, and I'll be honest, I'm not really a huge Star Trek junkie, so I was kind of afraid to pick this up because I knew if I picked this up and started reading it and liked it, that I was going to have to go watch like 500 episodes of Star Trek, right? And I might have bit into that and, done what I didn't want to do. I thought this was a great issue. I think if you're a Star Trek fan, you're going to love it. It kind of makes me want to go watch Star Trek. I do know enough about Star Trek. Shout out to my Uncle Ricky. He's a huge Star Trek junkie. I know that the red shirts mean they die, right? If you're wearing a red shirt in a Star Trek TV show, that means your number's coming. And this, they kind of touch on it a little bit, but at the same time, like, it's not necessarily true. This one, they kind of touch bases with all the red shirts who have had near-death experiences but survived, and then they kind of put them all on a team for a mission that's upcoming, and then, surprise, a couple of them die during the mission. But the mission hasn't even started yet. The mission is just being set up, and some of them die. So it's just like, touching the whole red shirts die thing, but at the same time, there's like a boss red shirt, and she is, bringing the team together, and then there's like this rogue red shirt who's like a real badass, and he doesn't work well with others, but he's survived the longest, and he's like a legend in the red shirt community. But I thought this was a great issue, a great setup for a series to come, and I'll be picking up more of this. I really liked it. Next up, from Oni Press, author Ben H. Winters. I thought this was fantastic. I really loved the first issue. This is Benjamin number 2. This one, Benjamin and his friend that's helping him out, they show up to the place where they thought they were supposed to meet, because if you read the first one, Benjamin kind of woke up. In the first one, Benjamin wakes up and he's in what he believes to be one of his books. In this one, they continue the journey of looking for the bad guy or the creator, because they're going under the premise that he's in his book, and they kind of find out that maybe they are in one of his books, but I think they find out they're in a book that is wrong. Like I swear I speak English. They think they're in one book, right? But come to find out they're in another book, and they're just in an illusion of the other book. So without kind of giving away too much, I think this is great. It's very wordy. If you're into really like crazy stories that make you think, not make you think, but like, it's not your typical superhero comic. There's a lot going on in here, and Benjamin is trying to find out what exactly is going on. I really, really like this. This is only a 3-issue series. Someone told me that, and I was like, what? I didn't know that. And then I looked at the cover, and up here it says issue 2 of 3. I was like, wow, I apparently can't read. But if you're on the fence about this, I definitely recommend getting it. It's fantastic. Next up, we got a series that I've been waiting for every week for the last like 6 weeks. I've gone to the comment and be like, hey, did Gargoyles come in? They're like, no, it got delayed again. But Dynamite published this. Who's the writer? Weisman, and then art by Parr. I'll start off with my complaint for this. My complaint is a personal complaint. They go over the family lineage of all the humans that are in this, and I got lost. They were like, yeah, somebody from this, and some guy from this lane, and some woman from here, and these 3 brothers, and this stepbrother, and that half-brother, and these 3 half-brothers, and that mom from the stepbrother of the previous dog's owner's cousin. And I'm like, dude, who am I supposed to be following? Like, what human matters? You know what I mean? But it tells the story of Demona and then her soon-to-be adopted daughter, Angelika. And if you watch the Gargoyles shows from the 90s, you know who those 2 characters are. They're very important to the lore. So I'm excited to see where this series goes. And hopefully that enough humans have died to where like maybe they narrow it down to like 1 or 3, even 3. I would be happy if they narrowed it down to 5 humans that we need to know, and not freaking every single person that's ever existed in the lineage. I think they went too hard in the paint for humans. But I thought this was a solid issue, and I will be picking up number 2. Last but not least, we got from Nacelle Versus from EC Comics. An entertaining comic is the name of the company that made it. Power Lords. I got this a couple weeks back in a package from Jimmy. Superheroes comics, Superpowers comics. I'll look it up and put it in the description because I don't want to give but Jimmy is the guy that sent this to me. And I finally read it. I thought it was a pretty solid issue. I really got like Star-Lord vibes from Guardian of the Galaxy. This dude's a human that's been like removed from his planet, and he's with a bunch of crazy looking aliens. Some of them are like half human, half car. Some of them are just like weird looking aliens. But I thought this was a pretty solid issue. He gets sent through a black hole, or I guess not sent through a black hole, but he's not listening to his boss, and then ends up falling in the black hole. And the black hole's not just like, to an alternate reality, but also it's to an alternate timeline. So he's working with a specific team to try to find the piece that he needs to get back. And then his crew is also working to try to find him. So I thought this was a pretty solid issue. I'm probably not going to go like looking for number 2, but if I find number 2 of Power Lords, which is the title I didn't say at the beginning, if I find issue number 2 of Power Lords, I'm going to pick it up because I thought this was definitely worth reading. I will say if your plate is full, I wouldn't add this because there's a lot of different characters that get mentioned in this one also, and it probably get a little confusing. But those are my 5 indie non-image comics that I read last night, and I'm really enjoying them. I definitely, if you're not reading Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles by Jason Aaron, I would definitely snag that. So this is definitely my number 1 recommendation for any Marvel, DC, Image, it don't matter. This is my number 1 series. Red Shirt, Star Trek. If you're a Star Trek junkie or Star Trek fan even, definitely go get this. I definitely recommend this. I thought it was a good read, and it's a good setup. You don't really have to know anything about Star Trek to appreciate this, and I almost promise you'll enjoy it. Benjamin from Oni Press, 100% recommend this. This is fantastic, and it's only going to be 3 series, so if you don't like it, is what it is. Gargoyles Demona. If you're a fan of the Gargoyles series from the 90s, this felt like I was watching the show. So I really like this, and I would definitely recommend this to any of those fans. And then Power Lords. Power Lords a maybe. I enjoyed it, but I can't say that everybody is going to enjoy it, but it definitely gave me Star-Lord vibes. But as always, guys, even if you're not going to read anything that I recommended to you, try to pick something up, read it, stimulate that mind, baby.